Welcome back to Storm Smart, navigating hurricane season. Before the break, we asked, after a hurricane, what should you do before making any repairs to your property? The correct answer is D, document the damage with photos for insurance. Always take pictures or video before you begin any cleanup or repairs. It's a crucial step for a successful insurance claim. Now let's talk power. During Hurricane Milton, more than 68% of Leesburg Electric customers lost service. The restoration effort was massive, lasting several days and requiring help from out-of-state crews. Heading into the 2025 hurricane season, the Leesburg Electric Department says they're ready. Joining us now is Leesburg Electric Deputy Director Chris Akins. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start by looking back a little bit. What lessons did your team take from Hurricane Milton that you're taking into 2025?
I think there was two things. One was the mutual aid, that's the crews that came in to help, and also the documentation that we have for FEMA. And I think those are two things. As it relates to the mutual aid crews, it's important for us to get the information about how much damage is on our system so we can know what it is we have to ask for. So we have increased our efforts to try to get that information quickly, and then we can get it to the director, the electric director, Brad Chase, and also to our other deputy director, Greg David. They have a lot of experience, and they make that decision about when and if we need to get mutual aid help. So that's one part of it. The other part, on the back end, we also have to document the storm for FEMA restoration. And that includes getting information about the location of the damage, how much, materials, and we have to work on getting that information in a timely manner. So it's fresh on the crew's minds, and we get it to FEMA so we can get reimbursed.
So power restoration is one of the biggest post-storm challenges. What makes it so difficult?
Well, I think the thing that makes it most difficult is initially trying to get access to the parts of our service territory. Because we have to do, like I said, we have to assess that damage, but we have to get to every part of our system. And sometimes that there's trees down, there's lines down, electric and telephone and cable are down, and we have trouble getting there to access those areas. So that's an important thing that we have to look towards with push crews, what we call push crews that go out and clear the roads for us. So we have to look to that to try to get that cleared up.
Now, what kind of plan do you follow when the grid goes down?
We have what we call the electric department a restoration plan. That restoration plan includes priorities, procedures, processes, things that we have to do. And that plan, we review it every year, and we take things like Milton, that storm, and we say, what can we do better from Milton? And then we apply it into that program, and we change things that we need to, and we adjust things so that we can make things better for the next storm, for this season. We hope we don't get one, but if we do, we'll be better prepared.
Now, we touched on this a little bit, but during Hurricane Milton, we saw other utilities crews coming in to help. How does that mutual aid process work?
Well, as we go back to what we spoke about before, having to do with that assessment. So we have to get a good idea of what it is that is torn up in our system. And once we have that information, Brad Chase, our director, and Greg David, the deputy director, have a lot of experience in determining how long that restoration will take. So what we do is we try to get that information to them as soon as we can. They make that determination, and when they make that determination, they'll reach out to an organization that we're a part of, the Florida Municipal Electric Association, FMEA. And they have a list of people that they can, that are ready to go to come and help us. So we have to tell them how many crews, what we need them to bring with them, and ask them how long it takes to get here as well.
And how quickly can those teams be deployed?
Well, that's a hard question to answer with any specifics, because it depends, back again, how fast we know what we need, because there's other utilities asking for help as well. Right. And there's also utilities out there that are staged. where other utilities will bring them into a certain area because they know they're going to get damage, and then they have them ready to go right away. We're not able to do that, so we have to reach out to FMEA. They have a list, and they get somebody to approve coming down. And that can be somebody from, like this, in Milton, we had somebody from the Keys, a group from the Keys, and we had 2 groups from Alabama. But if we don't ask fast enough, those crews could come from New England, they could come from the Midwest, and those are multiple days to get them here. We were fortunate to get the crews here in a day to help us out, but sometimes it could take longer. So that's why it's important for us to get out and assess the damage that we've had.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we saw widespread damage across Florida last year, not just with Milton, but also with Helene. Is there any concern of running out of critical supplies for restoring power, like poles or cables?
There is a concern, and what we do at the electric department is, and we work with the team of the warehouse as well, who manages the equipment that we have and the poles and the wire. And we look months in advance of storm season, and we say, what are our levels of material that we have in the warehouse? And we know from historically how much we usually use in hurricane season. So we put all that together and decide whether we need to order more material. And if we do, we go ahead and order it so it's here during hurricane season. So we do that in hopes that we're prepared enough to restore all the damage. However, if we don't, then we can reach out again to FMEA, the Florida Municipal Electric Association, and we can make a request for poles, transformers, wire, whatever it is we need, and they put it out to their contacts, and either vendors or other utilities will help us by bringing that material to us.
What should homeowners know about their generator options?
Well, there's a couple of different options that they have. One is a whole home generator, and that's would be installed permanently outside the house, and a licensed electrician would have to hook that up, and that generator would automatically transfer whenever the power goes out, so the house can continue to have power on the generator. There's also the portable generator that a lot of people have, and there's a couple things that homeowners need to know about that. They need to keep it outside of their house. They need to keep it in a well-ventilated area. Don't try to refill it while it's in the house. Don't carry gas in the house. Keep all that stuff outside. And if you do use that generator, the portable generator, make sure that you turn the main breaker off outside by the meter. And if you turn that main breaker off, that makes it safe both for you and your home, but it also makes it safe for the line workers who are out there. If you leave that main breaker on, then power can feed back onto our system, and it creates issues for the line department.
How does the electric department keep the public informed with power restoration efforts?
Well, we try to do it a couple of ways. One, we have a outage map that is on the city's website, and it shows all the areas where the power is out. We also have the city manager, he posts on the city website where the crews will be working and for that day, and then we update that hopefully several times during the day, so because things change. So we also have information on the website about how things are restored in our system, the process we go through, and we talked about the restoration plan earlier. It just kind of gives there's a video that gives you information about that and how we process an outage.
Right. Now, how can someone report if their power is out?
There's an 800 number that they can call, and that 800 number will put them into the system and allow them to report their outage. The system that they call into, though, it has to have the customer's phone number that's associated with that account. So we encourage people to call the customer service line and talk to the customer service folks to ensure that the phone number that they have on their account is accurate.
And finally, this one is especially important for residents who need power for medical devices or life-sustaining devices like that. How do you recommend that they prepare for that?
What we recommend is that they have a plan. For people who have medical issues that, like you described, they need that power. And So we suggest to them to make a plan so when a storm is coming, they know what they need to do. Now that may include they need to get out of the path of the hurricane by going to a family member or a friend that's outside the cone that's being predicted. The other thing that they could do is to find a shelter that is available in our area that can address and help with those needs that they have for the medical needs. And on Lake County's website, they do post those different shelters and the level of care that they can provide at those shelters.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, thanks again for joining us.
And thank you for having me.
And thank you to the entire electric department for keeping us safe and our power on during hurricane season.
Yep, thank you.
After the break, we'll check in with Cliff Kelsey from the Public Works Department. But first, another round of hurricane trivia. We'll have the answer after the break. And now here's Lake County Emergency Management Director Megan Milanese with what you need to know this hurricane season.
Megan Milanese, I'm the Lake County Office of Emergency Management Director, and we are here to talk a little bit about the 2025 hurricane season. We are expecting it to be an above normal season, which means we're going to see more activity in the Gulf and out in the Atlantic than we might want to otherwise see. So we are expecting it to be busy, we are ready and prepared, but we are expecting to see some storms develop this season. Today we're at the annual Hurricane Expo that the county puts on every year. We do this so that we can inform the community and provide educational opportunities for folks who might have questions about how best to prepare their friends, family, themselves to make sure that they're ready for when storm conditions start to come through the county. So we do this every year here at the fairgrounds to make sure that folks have access to the information that they need to stay prepared, stay informed, and stay ready. I think the first thing that folks should do is build a plan and then build a kit around that plan. So make sure you understand when and if you're going to evacuate if we start to see storm conditions arise within the county, and enable that plan early. So make sure that you're communicating that plan with your friends, family, loved ones, so they're not wondering where you're going to be at, and you have a confident way to move forward when the unexpected happens. So build your kit, make sure you're ready for about 3 days worth of supplies, and then if you are planning to evacuate, make sure you know your route and how you're going to get to where you're going, and communicate that with your friends and family. Citizens that are looking for information should always visit the county website, especially when we are activated for a storm. We typically have a storm-specific webpage that'll have all the information they need for that response. But if they have specific questions, one of the best things that we do to provide information to residents is our Citizens Information Line. And that is available at 352-253-9999 whenever we activate for a storm. So if you have questions and you need to speak to a real human and get real answers about what you need, that's going to be your best bet. Another great way to stay informed both during and before a storm might come through the county is to sign up for Alert Lake. All folks have to do is go to alertlake.com, enter the information that they want to receive alerts to, and then they'll receive alerts whenever something is ongoing throughout the county, whether it's weather related or something that might be localized to our community. They'll receive the information that they need in order to stay safe, stay ready, and prepared.